Good afternoon, everyone. This video is about double mastectomies, breast cancer, things of that nature, things that most people don't like to talk about. Some do, some don't, but most are very curious. My name's Nico, and I had a double mastectomy a few years back. 2021 to be exact. I found out I had a cluster of precancer cell breast cancer. I have it in the family. But without getting into all that, you're wondering why we're even having this conversation. Well, we're having this conversation because I get a lot of questions. Some of them are not so nice, but I'm going to answer it anyway. And some of the comments that I receive is, what the hell is that? Is that a guy? Is that a girl? What the hell is that? They can't make out. And you know what? I try not to get upset because I know the way of the world today. We don't know, what's going on with someone. Are they straight? Are they gay? Are they bisexual? Are they transitioning? Did they transition? And then we get into the pronouns and all that stuff. Let me start off with this. I'm old school. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying, me personally, I'm old school. I was brought up, you were either straight, gay. Usually gay goes for a guy. Usually. Women, they're known as lesbians or dykes. I am not a fan of the word lesbian. To me, it sounds like a disease, so I try to avoid that word. Not because I'm ashamed of it. I just don't like the word. I don't know. Why couldn't they come up with a better word than that? But back in the day, you were either straight, gay, bisexual, what else? You didn't hear too much about transgender. I'm 58 years old, by the way. But they were cross-dressers, drag queens. That was basically the gist of it. There weren't that many letters when it came to pride. Right now, there's so many letters, I gotta be honest with you. Even me being a gay woman, I have no idea what half of them even are. I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm not ashamed to say it. I know a couple of them, but a lot of them I do not know. Got to the point where it's a little confusing. But that's not the topic. Although we'll probably get into that a little bit. But the topic is double mastectomies. Why do women choose to go flat instead of having implants, things of that nature. Now, everybody's story is different. That's number one. Everybody's story is different. Everybody's outcome is different. This, what I had, was not top surgery. This was not, I repeat, not top surgery. If I had top surgery, they would have left some breast tissue, which would give me pics, which I do not have. This is a double mastectomy. I had my boobs completely amputated, which they call a double mastectomy. And I had an AFC, which basically means I chose to go flat. No implants. I have a lot of friends with implants. I, however, am not one. Didn't want it, don't want it, happy and content to where I'm at. Let me just say this one thing, and this goes for men too. Get your hooties, your tatas checked. Get them checked. Get them checked regularly. My dad actually had to have one off. He's not with us anymore, not because of that, but he did. Back in the day, he had to have one breast removed. My mom is a 3-time cancer survivor. Most of hers are removed. One, the doctor left half of one. That's another story for another day, and I don't know. That doctor just didn't want to hear nothing. But, on a good note, my mother's a 3-year cancer survivor. She's in her 80s now. I happened to fall upon by accident. I hurt my leg, which landed me into the doctor's office. The doctor actually mentioned to me out of the blue, when was the last time you had a mammogram? And I was like, I'm here for my leg, not for my mammogram. And anyway, I go home, I get a phone call from Rhode Island Imaging, and they said you're scheduled for a mammogram, and I came this close to canceling it. And something in the back of my head with my crazy hair that I'm letting grow out, and that's a story for another video as well. The back of my head, I almost canceled it, but something told me, and I don't know, it was my gut, my head, I don't know, something told me to just keep it and go. It's luckily that I did. It was a long, drawn-out process. It was nerve-wracking. I had to have multiple different types of testing and biopsies, lymph nodes checked. In the end, when I found out what I had, I decided to go for a double mastectomy. Now, I've been gay all my life. I didn't just decide I was going to be gay because it was in style or I wanted to try it out. That's not how it went. I was born like this. I've known I was gay from a young child. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what you called it. Back then, we were just considered tomboys. So, fast forward, I go through all these testings, and I ended up having to have a double mastectomy. I did have to argue with my doctor to get it done. I finally had to push my doctor and tell them, I respect you, and I want you to do my surgery. You're telling me that not to have the double mastectomy, that I should have extensive mammograms and what do you call those, sonograms or whatever they call them, every 6 months. They wanted me to swallow a chemo pill for 5 years, which has short and long-term effects. So I basically said to my doctor, which she was a she, and she's very well known, very educated woman, but I think I was actually her first experiment. I shouldn't say experiment, but her first case of someone that actually wanted to go flat during a double mastectomy. She's a breast surgeon. She's not a plastic surgeon. She's a breast surgeon. In the midst of this, and I might bounce around a little bit, but I contacted some breast surgeons that were plastic surgeons. And do you know half of them? Actually, I didn't see half of them. Every one of them that I talked to didn't even want to touch me because I didn't want to have implants. Imagine that. That's unbelievable. Well, fast forward, I told my doctor, I said, listen, you're giving me the option. I said, you know my history. You know my mom's history. Obviously, we talked about this numerous times during numerous visits and testings. And basically, you're telling me that you want to keep me on high alert and swallow a pill for 5 years. Basically, you're telling me we're going to keep a high alert on you until the bomb drops. That's how it sounds to me like. And when I say bomb drop, meaning like, okay, boom, there's the cancer. All right, we got to go at it now. Aggressive. No. No, no, no. Finally, I had to tell her on one of the visits. I said, listen, I respect you as a doctor. I was referred to you. And your referral was extremely high on a good rating. I would like you to do the procedure. However, if you don't feel as though you're adequate or you can handle it, then let me know now and I will go find another doctor. But I refuse to go under extensive monitoring for the rest of my life or until it blooms into this thing where it's actually going to kill me. And swallow a pill that I'm going to have short and long-term effects from. I refuse. I said, so I want the double mastectomy. I want this rid of. I want them gone. So tell me now, either you want to do it, and you will do it, or if you don't, I'll respect your wishes and I will go to another doctor. But I need to know before we leave this appointment where we're going here. Because this is weeks have gone by. This stuff is growing inside of me. It's a cluster. They're the size of at the tip of a pencil, which means they could float anywhere. They could still be in me floating somewhere. All you need is one little one to go away and go somewhere and hide, you know. She left the office. She came back with paperwork, had me sign it, and she agreed. Obviously, she sent me to a nut doctor to make sure I could handle it and whatnot. And after speaking with the nut doctor, she agreed I knew exactly what I was doing and exactly what I wanted. The end result, it was a long, tough surgery. Painful. Emotional. Full of anxiety. Now let me tell you this, I never liked my boobs. And it's so crazy because the ones that don't want boobs end up with the biggest boobs of all. And the girls that want big boobs, they end up with these little nubs. And they end up having to go get implants. It's the craziest thing. Watch most butch women have big boobs. I don't know why that happens. I really don't know why that happens. I do wish one thing. I wish I had done this when I was in my 20s. Like, I wish this happened when I was in my 20s because I would have lived a much happier life. I was happy, but I mean in my own skin. There's nothing worse than not feeling right in your own skin. When you look in the mirror, everybody sees something in the mirror that they don't like. I don't care how good looking you are or how good looking you think you are. There's always one little flaw that bothers you about something. For me, it was my boobs. I go to the beach, man. I had to have layers on. You know, what do you call it? What do you call those bras? Oh my God, my brain is... I can't think. Sports bras. I'd wear like 2 sports bras, a couple of tank tops, muscle shirts, whatever you want to call them, just to go to the beach, just to hide them because it's, how do you say body dysphoria? Is it dysphoria? How do you say that? I didn't like my body, whatever you want to call it. If you know what the word is, drop it in the comments. Smash that subscribe button too while you're at it. Anyway, so since this double mastectomy, and I'm clear of cancer, thank God for that as well, I have to tell you, I have never been so comfortable in my own skin as I am now. Heck, would I like to be more muscular and all that jazz? Of course I would. But sometimes life, you know, I joined the gym and everything, and I have not been to the gym in a while. I've still been taking my creatine, but I have not been to the gym. I hope to change that. But unfortunately, sometimes life has its own course. its own direction. And right now it's doing its own thing for some reason. I feel like I'm just sitting in the back seat right at the moment, and it's just taking me wherever. But since I've had this double mastectomy, I feel free. There's no more bras. There's no more hiding. There's no more this adjusting. There's no more coming home and having to rip this thing off and be like, ah. And for the women out there, you gotta know what I mean. Even if you like your boobs, that at the end of the day, taking your bra off, it's like, oh, there's like no relief like it. Guys, you probably don't know what I'm talking about. So, what did I end up with? I ended up with scarring. And I do have these little nubs here. I feel like they're my nipples. I got them under each arm, and I still have some fluid that never seems to go away. Never seems to go away. But that's okay. And as you can see, my scars. But I'm okay with that. I could go for a revision. I'm not. You know why? Nobody is perfect. Nobody will ever be perfect. There'll always be something. Even if you fix something, there's always something else behind it that you're not happy about. So I'm not even going to go there. I leave it the way it is. I'll be in Florida in like 4 weeks. I'll be topless on the beach, enjoying life, getting a full-fledged tan. The only thing I'll be having on is shorts. Some of you don't want to hear about that, but that's the way it is, and I'm happy to be free. I am happy to be free. I am 58. I wish I felt this when I was in my 20s. I wish I felt this in my 20s. But it happened now, and like I said, this is the most comfortable I've ever felt in my entire life. I do remember the first time when I came home and I was bandaged. I was scared, as much as I didn't like my boobs. And like I said, I had a rack on me. I was afraid to take the bandages off because I did not know what I looked like under there. It was an emotional experience for me. There was a lot of tears involved, and you wonder, you say, well, why was the tears involved when you didn't like your boobs anyway? Well, you got to remember, been looking at a mirror at your body for like 58 years. Your brain sees something, and now you look in the mirror and you see something totally different. Even if you didn't like what it was before, you see something totally different, and it affects your brain, man. It affects your brain. Doctors try to push implants on women. They feel as though if you're a woman, you're supposed to have boobs. Well, I think that should be a personal decision for each woman. If they want to have implants, they should be able to have implants. If a woman wants to go aesthetically flat, which is AFC, they should be able to go flat with no implants, and they shouldn't be ridiculed. Bottom line. It's so easy for people to insult others when they have no idea what the story is. It's none of their business what the story is, and you shouldn't be insulting people. Nobody is better than anybody. Nobody is above anybody. Let me tell you something. Things can be taken away in a moment's notice, in a split second. That goes for money too. You could be rich one day and then find yourself flat on your face, broker than broke. And 2 weeks ago, you were probably making fun of people that were broke. And there you are. So nobody is above anybody. No one. I don't care who you are, where you are, or who you think you are. Nobody is excluded from anything. Remember that. So what I say is make sure you get your tatas checked regularly. Even if you don't want to, it's not fun. It's uncomfortable. It's embarrassing. but I would still recommend to get it done. And you guys as well, too. I'll tell you what, I've been free as a bird, and I love it. I do keep saying I'm going to get this tattoo I've had before, way before surgery. It was actually a tattoo underneath, and then I had it covered. But you're wondering what was it? It was my very first tattoo, and it was a little worm that looked like he was running with a little hat on. Stupidest tattoo. At the time, I thought it was cool. Of course, I was in my 20s. Hold on, that's the phone. I do like that pause button, by the way. Comes in handy, especially when the phone rings. So, basically, in a nutshell, this is what a flat double mastectomy looks like. I'm just going to show you quick, and then we're going to end this video. This is basically what it looks like. Scars will never go away. They'll never go away. This fluid probably will never go away. These little knobs I got going on, my scars actually go from way under here. Way under here. This might be a little TMI, but it's the weirdest thing since I had my double mastectomy. I hardly have any hair that grows under my arms. Yes, I shave. I haven't shaved in a week though, only because there's like nothing there. But I don't know what breast tissue has to do with hair under your arms. I'm not really sure what they hit under there, but it's the weirdest thing. But anyway, so that's what a double mastectomy looks like. Again, the moral of this story is go get your tatas checked. It may save your life. Hit that subscribe button. And if you do have any normal questions, drop a comment. I'll answer anything. I'm not going to answer rude comments. Well, I'd like to, but, you know, I have to be nice. Just like you have to be nice. But if you do have questions, I'm more than happy to answer. Peace out, grab some smiles, and I'll catch you on the next video. And don't forget, smash that subscribe button for this small, tiny seedling of a channel. I just hit 200 subscribers too, by the way. Thank you. Until next time, I'll see you in the next video.